Welcome to True Blue LA. I'm Ryan Walton, here with Eric Steven. Today we're going to talk about the rotation. Brett Anderson was a solid contributor last year and is a free agent after signing just a one-year deal with the Dodgers. Eric, are the Dodgers going to offer him a qualifying offer or try to re-sign to a longer deal?
He's sort of intriguing. I think he strikes me as someone who's like, for the first time in his career, I mean, he was only a free agent for the first time last year, and he was coming off four, straight injured years, maybe 5 straight injured years, but he only averaged like 50 innings a year for the previous 4 years. So he made 31 starts, 180 innings. He's shown he's healthy again, and he's a serviceable pitcher. This is like if the one time he's sort of able to cash in on a multi-year deal. So I think the Dodgers try to leverage that. I don't necessarily think they re-sign him, but what they would probably do is try to offer him a qualifying offer, which is in the first within 5 days after the World Series. The qualifying offers are sent out. It's a 1-year deal worth $15.8 million. Usually, it's the system sort of designed that the cream of the crop sort of get these, and it's the only way for teams to get draft pick compensation if they leave elsewhere. So I think the Dodgers heavily consider that, with the theory that Brett Anderson's probably going to turn it down. Not necessarily that he can get a multi-year deal better than $15.8 million a year, but maybe he can sign a 3 or 4 year deal in the neighborhood of like 10 to 12 million a year. But it's a much larger guarantee, so he might turn it down. And at the worst case scenario, if he accepts, you bring him back at a sort of an elevated rate, but it's only a 1-year contract. And I think in this market, the Dodgers would be able to live with that risk. But I think it's sort of a game theory with him. So I would guess he's definitely a candidate to get a qualifying offer.
Dodgers still have a lot of questions with the rotation, with the injuries from last year spilling into next year. What really do the Dodgers have nailed down, and what kind of contributions are the Dodgers going to get from minor leaguers this year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You basically, like, going into the offseason, Kershaw is the only constant. I think they're going to be active in the pitching market. They'll bring in 1 or 2 maybe free agent starters, if not more. But yeah, you basically have Brandon McCarthy coming off Tommy John, probably not available till the All-Star break. Now, Hyunjin Ryu is supposed to be ready for spring training, but he's coming off major shoulder surgery, so he's not someone I would necessarily count on to be an opening day, ready-to-go guy, but someone who could possibly contribute, and you hope that might be able to contribute. You have your depth guys from this last year, like Mike Bolsinger, who made 21 starts, I believe. You have your Joe Whelans, your Zach Lees, those kind of depth guys as fallbacks. And then like you said, the prospects. I say Jose De Leon, probably more major league ready, at least at some point earlier in the season, maybe than Julio Urias. I think Urias had a setback last year in the fact that they tried to keep his innings down. But he had the elective eye surgery in the middle of the year, but then he ended up sort of struggling at the end of the year. So any sort of chance he could have maybe possibly helped him in the bullpen at the end, I think that was a long shot anyway. That sort of went by the wayside. Now he's looking at someone who pitched fewer innings in 2015 than he did in 2014. So I think he kind of needs a full season of development. So I don't know if they're going to look at him as someone they're going to bring up, unless he just completely lights out, because he's probably going to be in AAA. And if you're in AAA, you're basically one step away. So if you're performing well there, you definitely have a shot. So I wouldn't put it past him, but maybe not someone they're counting on, but sort of someone who could contribute if things break right.